opening. So, hi everyone. Assalamualaikum. Kaifa haluka ya ukhti? Kaifa haluka ya akhi? Ana Farhan min Malaysia. And yes, that concludes everything I know about Arabic. And I was actually quite inspired by the first two, three speakers who just started off with Arabic, and I think it's an interesting, definitely an interesting phenomenon that we would find in ISOC, where cultural exchanges just like that makes it ever the more wonderful to see different people from different cultures. So with that being said, I'll try to keep my presentation short, sweet, and pretty chill. So I'm here to talk to you about what ISOC Malaysia has done, in specifically what we have done together with something we call the Youth Initiative. So first question is, why do you have a youth initiative within the chapter? Some of you might already have some youth, what is it called, youth programs, just like a few events that you engage with the youths. But why have an initiative that's like a component within the chapter in the first place? So before I get to answer that question, let me just give you a brief background on who the people in the initiative are. So generally, just imagine a bunch of young youths who love talking about internet governance, who love talking about media literacy, even before we knew about ISOC Malaysia. Like me, for example, I used to be in a debate called Malaysian National Malaysian National, I forgot the initials, but it's basically called NICSAT, which is a debate competition on ICT and cybersecurity. So after I won that competition in 2017, I was given a lot of opportunities to give speeches in Asia Pacific discussions. I had a bunch of good opportunities to meet a bunch of good people, and through these kind of events, through this kind of networking, I met other like-minded young people. And one of them is actually Aisha Shakira. I think she's somewhere in here. She's part of the Asia Pacific team, and it was actually her idea initially to have us become a collective of people who are doing something to push internet governance, not just to Malaysia, but specifically to the youth. Because as we understood and as we identified something happening around Malaysia, is that we wanted to bridge the gap between internet governance, youth, and Malaysia. Because in Malaysia, internet governance is a pretty new idea. If I'm not mistaken, I actually checked it. The first mention of the word internet governance only came in Malaysia in 2011, 2012. It's a fairly new concept for us. And because it's a new concept for Malaysia, it's certainly much more foreign concept for youths. And we want to bridge the gap between internet governance and youth in Malaysia specifically. As we have seen in the countries, in other countries so far, due to the COVID-19 pandemic, a lot of governments have introduced different initiatives for, what's it called? Contact tracing. Yeah, contact tracing, and also looking at how they can use IoT to manage the pandemic response. A lot of the youths in other countries, we can see perhaps, if I'm not mistaken, either Sweden or Singapore, the responses to the issues of privacy, the responses to the issue of visibility are initiated by youths. Whereas in Malaysia, not only is the question of privacy and feasibility in terms of IoT rarely initiated in Malaysians, it is much more rarely being initiated by youths. So it's been always brought up by the same old people, and by old people I mean like old people, like around 40 years old, 50 years old. So we were wondering, since youths are ever so interconnected with the internet, it is very important to have youths bringing up the issues of internet governance to the national sphere. So which is why we decided, hey, you know what, we all already know pretty much the same thing about internet governance. We all are pretty hyped up on this. Why not we work together and bring this to everyone? Um, and how we got with ISOC Malaysia is actually an interesting story as well. We knew ISOC Malaysia since we knew ISOC Malaysia through one of the networking events as well. And our president, Mr. Shireen, he's such a wonderful guy. He said, "Oh, okay, if you want to do this initiative, you can be under ISOC Malaysia, and pretty much will support you." So yeah, we have such a fun time working with ISOC Malaysia. So with that being said, what did we do? So initially, before we were actually called ISOC Malaysia, we wanted to try to push for something that I'm pretty sure is familiar with a lot of you, and that is the Internet Governance Forum. We wanted to bring the first ever Malaysian Internet Governance Forum to, of course, Malaysia. And what we did was that we pitched that proposal to the communications minister. So what happened during that day was that he had a town hall on some issues of media. A lot of the different journalists, a lot of the different politicians were trying to attack him while looking at this. Why aren't you responding to this issue? Blah blah blah. But my friend, the guy in the red hoodie there, what he did was that amongst the flurry of other people trying to politicize these issues, he stood up, he raised his hand, he asked for the minister. Hi, minister. We are a bunch of really passionate youth who want to bring internet governance to Malaysia, and we want to introduce Malaysian youth internet governance forum. So could you please support us? And from that point on, we got connected with the Ministry of Communications Malaysia. And even though there were some issues that made us not being able to do the Malaysian Youth Internet Governance Forum, but that instance provided us a foot in the door to have the ministry support along with a lot of other co-collaborators in making the very huge event which happened before our lockdowns, and that is the Malaysian Youth at Safer Internet Day, which is a national level event. It was a pretty big event. We got about 100-ish participants from all around Malaysia, from all around Peninsular Malaysia. And the event was such a huge success. We definitely got a lot of youths who previously didn't know anything about internet governance to know more about what we are doing here in ISOC. So what did we do in Malaysian Youth at Safe Internet Day? The first one is, of course, a plenary session. If you know Aisha Shakira there, she's right there in the picture. So what we did in this plenary session is that this is kind of one of the first, I'm not sure what the English term is, but it's kind of one of the earliest exposures that we bring the idea of multi-stakeholderism that is very prominent in ISOC. We brought this idea to the youths in the room. And as we can see in this room, there's at least about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 6 people from six different communities, from 6 different stakeholders, all discussing about an issue from different perspectives. So to the youths in the room, this is pretty new. They usually thought, hey, I guess internet governance is only being talked by, I don't know, the government people, maybe just the technicians who wear hoodies and just code all their night away. But no, we showed to them that internet governance is certainly a process that involves everyone, that involves a wide variety of stakeholders, and this is one of the first tasters of that. The second one, we also had a fun town hall session with his name is General Azumi. So this guy is the chairperson of Cyber Security Malaysia, one of our co-collaborators for this event. And what's interesting about the guy is that he used to be an army general. And after serving the country, he, instead of just sitting at home looking after his children and grandchildren and also cats, he decided, you know what, I want to save Malaysia virtually. So he signed out to being the chairperson. And it's very interesting to see, of course, after the plenary, where we have a lot of young people from different stakeholders talk about their views on internet governance, we also have someone who we call the veteran, talking about his views on internet safety and in terms of national security. Fun stuff after that. Oh no, is it okay? Here we go. Um, After that, we had breakout sessions. One of them was about privacy and which was done by Google Malaysia. And another session was a talk or rather a discussion with a few influencers and activists on which is in the picture, on cyber grooming and also safe internet approaching social media in a safe way. To which they had a lot of discussions with each other. It was somewhat of a town hall format as well. Town hall slash forum format as well. And after that, the participants were split into around a few groups, if I'm not mistaken, 10 groups. I'm really sorry, I'm not sure about the numbers. It's happened like quite a long time ago. They were split in about 10 groups, to which all of them were given different aspects of internet governance. Like some of them were given on child rights, some of them were given on access and empowerment, some of them were given on human rights, so on and so forth. To which after the breakout discussions, they all had presentations that were done in the main hall so that they have discussions among each other. So, what did that enable us to do?
Farhan,
Yeah.
just to let you know, we're a bit running late. So if you can wrap it up, please.
Yeah, sure. Let me see. Okay, I can skip this one, no worries. So I'll just talk to you about basically what it enabled us to do. The first one is that it helped us youth people who want to have a platform to advocate for our issues to reach out to not only youths but also kind of give us a platform to talk about internet governance to the rest of Malaysia as well. Because after the Malaysian Youth at Safer Internet Day, we were also approached to make an advertisement, and that advertisement is mainly about what's it called? Fighting disinformation and misinformation, not sharing fake news and all that stuff. That advertisement was then aired to different TV channels in Malaysia. Um, we also widen our horizon for collaborations, and that really helped us a lot because for that just one event alone, we were able to touch base with the ministry, agencies under the ministry. We were able to talk to ISP providers. We were able to talk to Google Malaysia, and certainly right after that, we were able to know who who do we have, what kind of friends, what kind of stakeholders are there for us to engage with, for future initiatives. And finally, we have what I could perhaps amount to the most important part of this all is that we have participation from the youth, from what something is sorry from something that was somewhat a foreign concept to a lot of the Malaysian youth out there, to more of something that they now know and they can talk about. So we're really happy about that one. This is basically just to talk to you guys about, like, even though right now due to different schedules and currently Malaysia has some lockdown, we weren't able to do much activities, but each of us in our own way are still contributing to internet governance. So like for example, I'm doing some researches and I'm also doing some programs on media literacy. I have other friends doing advocacy on child rights. Some of my friends are making vlogs talking about important stuff. And yeah, these two are very amazing people. Sharifah, she made a lot of videos that appeared not just nationally but also in regional and international levels. And Anissa, she recently became a TED Talk speaker. And yeah, they are very amazing people. Finally, this is perhaps the main takeaway that I'd like to give to you guys. Okay, I'll try to make this in 1 minute. So if you are to make a youth initiative for your, what is it called, for your chapter, certainly you can expect that you are going to widen your own network as a chapter, as a community leader. You are going to be quite inclusive in the decision making processes that you have. You are certainly going to be inclusive of the concerns that the youth have. So not only will you help them widen their network, you are also widening your network to find advocative means via youth. The second one is, of course, you get to expand reach. Again, the youths that are interested in these kind of projects certainly are very passionate. If you give them a topic, if you give them the responsibility, certainly they know very innovative ways of reaching out to the general public and also their friends and also youths. And finally, you will also, I think this is most important for myself, you'll be able to foster friendships. I'm friends with Aisha actually through some of the earlier meetups that we had on internet governance. I'm also friends with the people in ISOC Malaysia, and I'm now like quite strong friends with some of the people in the youth initiative itself. And yeah, these are a picture of us all looking so weird and tired after the event, but also because we had fun. And yeah, thank you so much. Just stopping by to
Thank
tell
you
you that you
very
are.
much, Farhan. Very inspiring, very inspiring.